Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michael.
I'm John.
And I'm Andrew, and you have stumbled upon the Toy Rewind podcast, where the three of us get together and we chat about toy lines that may or may not have been part of our childhood, may or may not have been part of your childhood. This week, we have a very special one that I think we all remember. So we're going to jump into that in a minute. But first off, I'll tell you, we're going to rewind back to 1985. And we're going to talk about the one, the only Theodore Ruxpin from Worlds of Wonder. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually Teddy Ruxpin. Me and Michael talked about this a while ago because we both had it wrong. And for some reason, we're calling him Ruxpin. Why are we calling him Ruxpin?
I don't know.
I think it's just the slang, the slur that we put to everything.
It's that Texas
accent Ruxpin. We got. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's actually Teddy Ruxpin, Ruxpin. So you'll learn something new every time you listen to our podcast. And this week, it's all about that. So we're going to jump into that. Before we do that, John, where can people find us?
All right, so double check us out at our website at toyrewindpodcast.com. You can also look us up at crossthestreamsmedia.com. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. Get those right, or you might find somebody else. Yep. You don't ever know. We do stream our Toy Box showcases that we do occasionally to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We need to get some more of those going. I know I got a couple of sodas in and stuff. Michael's still got some more Transformers, and I don't know. What do you got, Andrew?
I just keep opening things.
Yeah, you don't wait for us, so
I can't been able to wait.
So, and then double check our podcast bingo if you want to play a little game while you're listening to us to see what we have on there and see if you get a bingo. You can play that at podcastbingo.com/toy rewind. We'd like to know if you do get a bingo or if you get a blackout or a double line. Who knows? Just let us know if you get anything.
Is a double line a thing?
I don't know. Depends on how much you play into it. Do you stop at one or do you go for more? And then, as always, keep up with us so we know when keep up with us so you know when we're going to do our next collector showcase with our friends over at the Geek Together channel. I can't talk on that one.
I think we have a showcase coming up. I think we finally got one possibly lined up, or we're getting it lined up. So be sure you follow us so you can know when that's happening. Right, Michael?
Right. Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So John mentioned he got some sodas in. What are you snatching at there, John?
It was a bug.
I do.
Sorry. It bugged me. It bugs me.
John, you also mentioned you were trying to get your computer set up because it updated to Windows 11.
Yeah.
So funny thing happened because you were talking about that right before we went live. And as they were doing the intro was happening, I was trying to turn my headphones down a little bit so it's not as loud, right? I hit the wrong button and I hit the mute button and I just updated to the new Mac OS. And I found out something interesting about the mute button on Mac OS. It's not an instantaneous mute. It turns the volume down and then turns the volume back up. It's it caught me off guard because I was like, what the heck is happening? So I thought it was funny because it happened like you were just talking about your Windows 11 stuff and Michael's on Windows 95 down there. But, Mac stuff happening too.
I'm still on AOL.
Did you get dial up?
You're about right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you guys, Michael's got lots of notes on Teddy here. So You ready?
Let's go.
All right.
Go with it.
Let's rewind.
Yep. All right. Let's see. All right, we were going to talk about Teddy Ruxpin. It was the best-selling toy of 1985 and 1986. 2 years running.
2 years running?
2 years running. It was the best-selling toy in the toy biz.
Interesting.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty cool. So, did you know that Teddy Ruxpin is not actually a bear? Did y'all know that?
Excuse me?
He's an Iliop. So
I read
it's a
that.
creature who looks like a bear, but he's not a bear, and he talks and everything. So
what is? I don't under what.
that's
Give
So
me
it's
a
not a real-
definition. Give me a better definition of Iliop.
It's not a real
he
thing.
was originally called a Spungid, is what he was, and his story got as it transformed throughout the years, it changed to Iliop. And it is just a creature that looks like a bear, resembles a bear, but he's a little shorter and stumpier, and he speaks, he talks. So that's just what they named his little species in the actual Teddy Ruxpin world that they have. So that they created for the cartoon series and all that.
So Iliops are not real, right? I'm not gonna.
No, they're not real.
Okay,
no.
I'm not gonna run into one of these things in the wild. Okay.
No, they're all fictional.
That's good. I needed to know that.
I think it's just in the Teddy Ruxpin
It's just good to know that because I don't like these things.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So-
gonna figure that out. You've said that, and I don't understand why you don't like this one.
Because they're terrifying.
It's just a cute little cuddly Iliop.
Yeah, so are Furbies, but
Yeah, Furbies creep me out. Anything like that kind of creeps me out. But, all right, so Teddy Ruxpin was created by Ken Forsey. Forsey had partnered with author Bud Bankson in the early to mid 60s and created a story called The Adventures of Simeon Greep. So, and then one of these minor characters in this story was named Teddy Ruxpin. So in 1965, Forsey bought out Bankston's interest of the story, and then nothing happened to the story until 1978. So there was a good 13 years there that the story just kind of sat on the shelf and nothing was happening to it. So Forsey actually created a production line, studio, whatever group called the Brown Squirrel Productions. And I saw where he just named it because he was in a meeting and he saw a squirrel run across the yard and through the window, and he just named it that. So that's how that name came around.
okay.
So during this time, he removed Greep because he said it kind of sounded like geek or creep or something like that. So he didn't like the name. So he replaced Greep with Teddy Ruxpin in the title role. So. And then by the early 1980s, Forsey founded Alchemy 2 Incorporated, which was another similar to the other one. It's just where they kind of put things together to create things. And then one of Alchemy 2's first projects that they was building the animatronic characters used on the Disney Channel's Welcome to Pooh Corner. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I remember watching that
I don't
quite a bit.
I don't remember Pooh Corner at all.
I remember something about Pooh Corner, but I don't remember the animatronics and stuff like that. So
John would remember Pooh Corner.
Pooh Corner.
But yeah, it was Welcome to Pooh Corner. Was it just Pooh Corner? Welcome to Pooh Corner, and the Dumbo Circus. If y'all remember that too, I watched that quite a bit when I was.
I remember
younger.
Dumbo Circus. I don't remember Welcome to Pooh Corner.
And those were early to mid 80s shows that were on Disney Channel at that time, and I remember them really well, both of them. So watched them quite a bit. So that was what Alchemy 2's one of their first projects that they made. So
I do remember this. These are terrifying bears. These are terrifying Winnie the Pooh characters. I do remember this now that I see the picture of yes.
Yeah. So that's what he did. And then one of Some other info that Forsey had when he was in his earlier years. He was one of the co-creators of Disney's Haunted Mansion, and then he also helped out with the Country Bear Jamboree. So he's really big on these animatronic characters, is what it is. Puppets, animatronic type puppets and stuff. And during this time, he was also contracted by Sid and Marty. Yeah.
This is terrifying, Michael. This.
Yeah, it looks a little different than what I remember.
This Pooh Bear is terrifying. Piglet's fine. This Pooh Bear, though, is terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know. They do look a little different than what I actually remember in my mind, so I have to actually go back and watch the show. Yes.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But anyway, so he was also contracted by Sid and Marty Krofft, their organization, to design a haunted house attraction for their theme park that was in Atlanta, which I don't think it lasted very long. But if you know anything about Sid and Marty Krofft, they're the ones that came up with Hanna-Barbera with Banana Splits, and then they did their own studio stuff they did HR Puffin stuff and the Lost World and all that kind of stuff in the 60s and 70s. And they were, they had wild ideas. If you ever seen HR Puffin stuff, you kind of know what I'm talking about.
HR Puffin stuff is awesome.
Yeah. So that's what he helped out with that, some of that stuff as well. He was also involved in the startup of Chuck E. Cheese. So he came up with, I guess, with the puppet, the animatronic puppet mouse for Chuck E. Cheese.
And what did you say his name was again?
It's what's his? Ken Forsey. Sorry,
Ken Forsey. Ken Forsey. So Ken Forsey should be in all of our vocabularies.
Yeah, it should be.
Apparently had things to do with everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, this Disney's Haunted House, which was actually is getting pretty big this year. It just recently celebrated their 50th anniversary. Last year, or year before, and then this year they had the Muppets Haunted House, which was off of that. And I've never been there, never seen the ride or anything, and I didn't realize and I watched the Muppets Haunted House and didn't realize that's what it was. It was after that ride. And until I was listening
Haunted
to
Mansion.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion. What'd I say?
House.
Oh, Haunted House.
Yeah, it's a mansion.
It's a little larger. Mansion. I didn't know anything. I didn't know it was tied. The Muppets was tied into that with this show until I listened to Secondary Heroes, and they were talking about it and everything. So,
yeah. So keep going.
So anyway, so he was involved in all that. Yeah.
Here's Ken Forsey, also referred to as possibly the gambler in another lifetime.
I was going to say that looks really accurate right there. The gambler,
Yeah, he looks just like Kenny Rogers in that picture.
Does. Yeah. And all the pictures, he looks like this. So
with the little Teddy Ruxpin on his shoulder.
Yeah, it's disturbing. So somebody who was
Iliop on his shoulder.
Yeah, John doesn't know how to say Iliop. He said Isop. Yeah.
All right. So, Teddy Ruxpin was a combination of all the things that Forsey had been involved in the past years. You had the Disney stuff, the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff, and Chuck E. Cheese, all that kind of stuff that they'd done. So, so this line, he was trying to get this doll out. This animatronic doll, which was the first animatronic doll on the market, and Hasbro had some interest in it, but at the time, the prototype they had was just a head on a stick type thing. They didn't have everything together when Hasbro was looking at it. Same thing with Jim Henson. Jim Henson had taken some interest in it as well, but they both kind of passed on the idea. But eventually he had, Forsey had the electronic stuff in there, and a guy named Don Kingsborough came into the picture. And by the time Don Kingsborough saw this here, they had the animatronic mouth and the eyes in it already, and it was taped. It was hooked up to a tape recorder. So he had a working prototype to show him. So, and if you don't know who Don Kingsborough is, he was the former head of Atari. Kingsborough created the new company called Worlds of Wonder in order to produce and sell Teddy Ruxpin. So Forsey knew the importance of story because working with Disney, he knows what a storyline could do for a product like that. So he came up and created a whole world for Teddy Ruxpin. And it's a whole imaginary type world. Some articles I read, so they kind of compared it to like the Lord of the Rings type lore type stuff world. But I don't think it was quite like that. No. But
that's a stretch.
Yeah, it's kind of a stretch. But
yeah,
he had his own the land he lived in, the creatures and stuff that were around in this cartoon series, and it was a pretty good cartoon as well back then. So. But they didn't need the cartoon didn't come out till like a year later, and they really didn't need the cartoon to sell it. That's just kind of something that just popped up after the sales started growing on this guy. So, so the original Teddy Ruxpin was run from a cassette tape. So cassettes carry 2 audio tracks for stereo sound, and then on Teddy Ruxpin. The right track was used for sound, and the left track was used for a controlled data stream that controlled the servo motors that move the eyes and the mouth. The cassette tape the cassette tapes were sold separately, and they came with a book so that kids could read along with the Ruxpin stories.
Do we need to explain what a cassette tape is?
Probably.
I don't know really how you can explain it. It was just
if you're watching, this is a cassette tape.
Yeah, okay, we got a picture of it.
I don't even know. I don't know how to explain this either. But
it runs a ribbon from one spool to the other spool, and on that, it's able to store like music or
it's like magnetic, whatever on the strip.
I want to say it's like basically just an audio version of a VHS, but then we'd have to explain what a VHS is for all of our younger listeners. So yeah, I mean it's cassette tape.
Yeah, cassette tape. So there was about 60 different tapes that were released in 13 different languages. That they had on for this. So creating Teddy Ruxpin with Forsey's connections with Disney, he was able to get George Wilkins, who created music for Epcot, to create the soundtracks for Ruxpin. The voice of Teddy Ruxpin was done by Phil Barron, who was known for the voice of Piglet on Welcome to Pooh Corner. So that cute little piglet you showed on there.
This guy thing.
Yeah, this guy did his voice. They did some. The way they recorded it made it sound a little bit different. So, but he was the voice of Teddy Ruxpin. Also, the puppeteer that recorded Ruxpin's movements was I believe he was from Disney as well. So they recorded all the movements and stuff with the sound, and then they were able to download or put all those movements into each doll, so it would program it into each doll. So the puppeteer that did this was called his name was Tom Fountain, and then he would later go on to help create the movements of Chucky in Child's Play 3. So that's kind of how Teddy Ruxpin is related to Chucky. So. And he's related to all the Disney stuff. So it's like 7 degrees of Teddy Ruxpin here. So
that means he's related to 2 different Chuckies.
Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese and Chucky the doll that run around and killed people. So
Chuck E. Cheese will kill you too. Just don't even.
Yeah. So
I've never been.
So Kingsborough wanted to get Teddy Ruxpin out by Christmas. and they were pushing it. It was 1985. They wanted to get it out by Christmas for the Christmas rush. So that would mean by September, October, before the stuff started hitting. So, which only gave 4C 6 months to get Ruxpin up and running. Like we talked about, Kingsborough was the head of Atari, and he gave, and kind of the downfall of Atari was just rushing some games out. Most notably E.T., the Extraterrestrial. That I thought was the greatest game ever, but I could never play it. So
I don't understand how you think it's the greatest game ever. You never. Really
I liked it. I mean, I just kept falling in the pit. That was just frustrating. But
you just didn't realize that's how bad it was.
I guess so. I didn't realize how bad it really was at the time. So anyway, so I gave him 6 months to get this thing going. He had $60 million to make it 6 months to go from prototype to store shelves. So Teddy Ruxpin came out in September of 1985 is when it debuted. Let's see. So Worlds of Wonder sold 41,000 Ruxpins in the first 30 days it was out. So 41,000 in a month. That's a lot of Teddy Ruxpins. Now, the kids went crazy over this thing. They thought it was the neatest thing in the world. And without the cassettes, Ruxpin didn't work, so the parents had to spend more money for the cassettes. So Teddy Ruxpin retailed from $59 to $79, and then the tapes were $12.95, so roughly $13. So it wasn't cheap. So that's a lot of money. 41,000 at $60 a piece, plus all the extra tapes that they sold on top of that.
So I found the number that I saw was $69.99 in 85. $70. So that's $179.91 today.
Yeah,
that's for the bear.
Yeah.
Did he come with a cassette?
I didn't see anything where he I don't know. He may have come with just one initial cassette, but I didn't see anything where he came with it. But I didn't look at any boxed up.
And you said cassettes were $12.95?
Yeah, $12.95.
Okay.
That's what a cassette went
That's
for.
$33 today.
For a tape.
For a tape.
And a book. And a little book to go with it.
Oh, yay. I'm not even buying. I don't even want to pay that much for like an album, like a music album that I'll listen to all the time, much less one that I'm going to put in a teddy bear's stomach and let it terrify me.
It goes in his back, not his stomach.
Oh, is it in the back? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's in his back. So, get in my belly. So, all right. So by the end of 1985, so it came out in September. So from September to December, Teddy Ruxpin made $93 million back then.
Jeez.
What is $93 million in today's dollars?
Hold on. 1985. I already closed that thing. That's why.
Oh, you already closed it out.
How much you say it was?
93 million.
That's 239 million.
239 million if it was today's money. That's a lot of money for September, October, November, December for 4 months.
I mean, I could probably live off that.
You think you could, huh?
I mean, maybe.
So some of the highlights of these cassette tapes, they were kind of funny, unless you actually know what some of these critters were from the TV show or from the books and stuff. If you just look at the names of these cassette tapes, they're kind of amusing. So these are some of the names of the tapes. So you had Teddy and the Mud Blups. Is being neat hard to do? So
what's a mud blup?
Exactly. You don't know what it was. You have to actually read the book, I guess.
I don't know if I want to know what a mud blup is.
Know the world of Teddy Ruxpin.
I'm going to look it up.
So here's another one with Groby. It says, Groby's Romance. Falling in love is something special. So then you have Grunge Music. Tap Your Feet to the Beat is the name of that tape. So you would think just by looking at the title of it, you would think it's grunge music, Nirvana or something like that.
This is a mud blup.
Okay.
It looks
All
like
right.
a blup of mud.
Yep.
Yeah. He looks like a humanoid, kind of. So.
Yeah.
Also, let's see.
But grunge is actually a name of one of the another critter from the world of Teddy Ruxpin. So.
This is also a mud blup. I don't know what this is, but it's kind of terrifying looking.
It's kind of scary looking, isn't it?
But yeah. If you want to know what we're looking at, just search mud blup. That's MUDBLUP. That's how I spell it.
Here's another title of a tape: The Mushroom Forest. You can be anything you want to be.
I bet you can.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. Anything in the soup. Will the anythings end up in the grunge gumbo? So there's other critters in this line that's called anythings. And I guess they're going to end up to be in the grunge's gumbo for some reason. I don't know. So then you have Teddy Ruxpin visits the dentist, which is sponsored by Crest. So the line itself consisted of Teddy Ruxpin, and you had Grubby, his little buddy Grubby, that you can actually connect the two with a cord, and they can interact with each other through the storybook, through the tape. So they had different outfits for Teddy Ruxpin and Grubby, and then they had several other non-animatronic companion toys. So there was two guys named, they were Fobs. There was two versions of that. They had an orange version and a purple version, and those were hand puppets. Then they had Woolly Watsit. It's a larger hand puppet. Then you had three anythings. You had this, that, and the other. Those were the three names. It's like
interesting.
It's like thing one, thing two, and thing one and thing two of.
Yeah, I see. There's only two of those, Michael.
Seuss, yeah.
Right.
So Dr. Seuss. Then you had Tweeg. Then there was LB the Bounder, maybe it's Bounder. LB the Bounder. And then there was an answer box and a picture show. I didn't see what the answer box was, but picture show was kind of like a viewfinder where you had the little pictures and you would click it and it would have a little picture show with it.
They should have built that into Teddy Ruxpin's head. Then you look through its back of its head, through its eyes.
That would make him even creepier.
I mean, he's already, I'm just trying to make him actually, trying to make him as creepy as he really is.
Yeah, that'd be a little creepier. So 1986 sales peaked and World's Wonder launched a series of safety messages for children with different partners such as firefighters and the United States Life Saving Association. They kind of did that. Then in 1986 also was the debut of Nintendo Entertainment System. If you go back and listen to episode 35, our Toy Rewind episode number 35 with Clint from the Dorksman, we kind of explain how they intertwine with the NES. So the NES, Worlds of Wonder took a chance on the Nintendo Entertainment System where nobody else would because of the video game crash that Atari happened to do. And I think most of that was because what's his name?
Ken Forsey.
Yeah, not King Forsey.
Not King Forsey, Ken.
No, it's Ken.
Yeah, Ken Forsey.
Ken Forsey, but no, it was Kingsborough. Don Kingsborough was, he was the Atari guy, and now he's running Worlds of Wonder. So he says, let's try this again. Let's get Nintendo and see if we can get it out. Well, no, none of the retailers wanted to pick Nintendo up. So what they did, Kingsborough did, was he said, if you don't pick up Nintendo Entertainment System, you will not get Teddy Ruxpin and you will not get Laser Tag, because they had Laser Tag at the same time. And both those were the top. Like I said, Ruxpin was the number one toy out there. So, and if retailers don't have that, then people will go somewhere else to buy it. So they said, well, we got to have Teddy Ruxpin. We got to have it. So let's do this. And that's the reason why Nintendo Entertainment System hit the shelves, because Teddy Ruxpin saved the day. So if it wasn't for Teddy Ruxpin, what we know of Nintendo wouldn't be what we know of it now. It would have been totally different. So we may have seen it later on down the line, but as we know, the Japanese versions were different. We probably would have seen some of that stuff instead of what we know what it was then. So and it wouldn't be as big. We'd have more. It'll be more probably Xbox or Sega, something, I guess. I don't know.
Yes,
or actually any of that. Because Nintendo did so well, the other companies came in too behind it, and it saved. Teddy Ruxpin saved the day for the video game. So, 1987, Worlds of Wonder contracted with Wendy's to feature a kids meal promotion. These were small flocked miniatures of Ruxpin and Grubby. 1987 also saw the decline in sales, and then management staff of Worlds of Wonder kind of overestimated the inventory. So they thought they needed more than what they actually need. So the requirements, so the excessive parts orders for making Ruxpin overextended the company's assets and was worsened by the stock traders, the stock trades that the company did at that time, which kind of spooked some of the investors. So even that, the money flow was not doing good at all in 1987. So in response, to the devaluation of Worlds of Wonder, they issued some junk bonds to kind of offset some of that, but it was kind of mute, because also in 1987 they saw the stock market crash, so that even made things worse for Worlds of Wonder. So 1988 they filed for bankruptcy protection and was liquidated, and then by 1991 the company was no more. So that was the end of this first iteration of Teddy Ruxpin, because they had some hiccups in 1987 that kind of killed the company. So
honestly, I'd like to say that it ended there.
Yeah, but it didn't.
But it didn't.
No. So, Teddy Ruxpin has been released several other times since by various different companies. In 1991, Hasbro under the Play School name released it. They actually replaced the cassette tape with cartridges that kind of resemble some 8-track type thing. If you don't know what an 8-track is, you go way back to 8-track.
Yeah. I think Dad had an 8-track in his car when he was.
Hey, I almost bought a car with an 8-track.
You nearly bought a car with 8-track?
I wish I would have.
Oh, I had an 8-track. I had an 8-track in that old stereo system I had in my room. It had the record player and the radio and the cassette player, and it had an 8-track with it too. So. Yeah. And speaking of the gambler, I had some Kenny Rogers 8-tracks.
All the way around.
Okay. All right. Back to this. So 1998, Yes Entertainment came out with their version of Teddy Ruxpin. This one actually came with VHS tapes that had a RF transmitter. So Teddy Ruxpin actually interacted with a video that you played on TV. So it was kind of cool. In 2005, Backpack Toys released one. They had digital ROM cartridges that you would put in it instead of other kind of tapes or anything. And then in 2017, Wicked Cool Toys released Teddy Ruxpin, and he had 3 program stories programmed into them, and then other stories were available on a mobile app. So it was all integrated inside. So you didn't have any tapes or cassettes or cartridges or anything for this one. It was just all digital is what it was by 2017. So, but that's the history right there.
All right.
The history.
Teddy Ruxpin's history. This thing is terrifying. I think before we get into that, we should go ahead and just rank this. Yeah, I think ranking this would be good for us.
Okay, let's rank it.
Good therapy.
You think it'll be good for us?
Yep.
Or bad for him?
I don't think it's gonna be great for Teddy. Michael.
Go down a little further.
I'm sorry.
Go down a little further.
There we
go. Let's see. I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him right between. Well, hey, let's put him right under my buddy Kid Sister.
My buddy
Karate Commandos. I ain't had anything that low in a long time.
John?
I don't even know what number that is.
So you're putting them above Karate Commandos?
Yeah, I'm putting
them
because it kind of ties in with that
Commandos.
same era with my buddy,
Above
Kid
Furby?
Sister, My Pet Monster.
Yeah, which is identical scoring between me and Michael.
Yeah.
So
and what's not going to keep up between
it's like
the three
number
of us?
28 for both of us.
It's not going to keep up
Or
between
something.
all of us. This is dead last for me.
So it's creeping up more than Furby.
They're about equal. Maybe Furby a little bit more because I don't know.
So should you put him before?
This doesn't creep me out as much because he looks like a bear, although he's an Iliop. But
Iliop, whatever it's called.
John doesn't know what he is.
I think I called him Icelop earlier.
So,
Iliop.
But Furby looks like some kind of alien creature that talks to you when you just look at it.
And I think that's maybe why Furby doesn't.
And he makes noise. He just makes
much.
noises. He makes noises. He doesn't really. It takes him a while to start actually talking, but yeah, it's creepy.
So Ruxpin kind of reminds me of gummy bears. Are you scared of gummy bears?
No.
Like from the movie,
Okay.
the cartoon, you know?
Let me tell you this. So I had a
Gummy
buddy
bears
of mine
bounce everywhere.
Well, I
Yeah.
know. I mean, I could probably
They're
make
bouncing.
Ruxpin bounce too.
bouncing here and there and everywhere. A buddy of mine in high school had one of these. I don't know if he had it from his childhood or if he picked it up, whatever. And he had it in his bedroom. And we took the face off of it. Let me tell you this right now. This is what they look like without a face.
Right?
And then he put a tape in it. And you get to watch all of this stuff go off, right?
Which
Yeah.
I swear we took the tape out. We took the tape off of it. Whatever. But in the middle of the night, this thing started talking. And it wasn't anything crazy, but it was just it was talking, and it shouldn't have been. It's not like it was one of the new ones that you do the wrong thing in the app or whatever. No, this thing should not have been talking. And
your buddy was messing with you.
I don't know. We were both freaked out. It was terrifying.
It wasn't the VHS one which has the RF transmitter, did it?
I don't know what it was, but we burned it the next
picking
day.
up something.
We burned it the next day, and if you think they're terrifying without their face on, you should see them when they're without their face on and on fire. It's just
solution to everything. Burn it.
It's gonna haunt you in your dreams now.
It's just the pictures of this thing, all of it, and then I don't like it. Maybe because he looks like a bear, it's a little more terrifying to me than an alien that I don't know is real or not. Whatever. Maybe it is. Maybe they whatever. So that's why these things terrify me.
Yeah,
and I don't like them. So,
now I kind of like the history of just the Ken Forsey, his history going back into all the animatronics, being part of Disney, and then the Croft brothers, Sid and Marty, being part of his organization and coming up with those guys, and it's got a pretty good. I mean, he's got that imagination that kind of fits in with that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, this definitely definitely got a good history, and how he stuck with it even though he was failing on a lot of different things.
And think of all the toy lines that were out in 85 and 86, and this was the number one toy for those 2 years.
All right.
So that's just
see.
crazy.
Best toys of 1985.
Hmm.
See if we can just list a few that are on here. Cabbage Patch Kids, Transformers, Pillow People, Pogo Balls, Skateboards, G.I. Joe, Atari, Teddy Ruxpin, Rainbow Bright, Care Bears. I don't know. Not all these obviously came out that year, and they might have already,
Well, they were the top toys of that year, so just the popular toys. And what about 86? Anything different in 86?
I don't know. I gotta change the year on my search. Top toys of 86. G.I. Joe, Pound Puppies, Barbie, Teddy Ruxpin, Mask, Cabbage Patch Kids, Transformers, Laser Tag, World Wrestling Federation action figures, Muscle. A lot of things we've already talked about.
Yep. So I mean, all those toy lines, and Teddy wrote this Talking Bear, pretty much, or Iliop, Talking Iliop. It was pretty much the number one seller. Yeah. And the price range of it. I mean, being, $60 to $70, $80 for one, whereas you can get GI Joes for what, $3,
Right.
So,
yeah, I don't know how it's all. So all right. So out of those 2 years, all the toys that I just listed, besides Atari, Pogo Balls, and Laser Tag, we've talked about all of them. So I guess we're done with 1985 and 1986 on this podcast. Just so you know that.
Well, I'm sure we've got a few on there that are not very popular lines.
Yeah,
we'll Bugmen of Insecta.
Yeah. Bugmen of it. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. I got to look back at my notes over here. So yeah, that's what you guys. We had one of these, didn't we?
No, not that I know. I can remember. I don't remember having one.
I thought I remembered. Maybe it was.
You remember your buddies and you taking the face off?
No. So I remember because that was in high school. I'm melting. That was in high school, and it was terrifying. But I thought we had one around. Maybe it was at the church or something.
I don't know.
But
I don't remember one.
So you guys have any stories about these? Like you remembering them at all besides just being on the shelves and
No stories.
No stories. No, just all right.
Yours is good though.
Just shut that down. Shut that down. All right. Let's talk about some pop culture with this. Obviously, I believe Teddy Ruxpin has a couple different things in pop culture recently. I don't know, but I would guess to say that he would be what inspired Ted, the movie Ted, and Ted 2.
Yeah.
With the talking bear. I mean,
yeah,
maybe not the only thing.
Iliop?
Well, he's actually a bear. No, he's actually a bear. Oh, well, but I mean, technically, maybe he is an Iliop because he is a talking bear. I don't know. So I would say maybe he would a little inspiration there, and then obviously, and it's funny that Teddy Ruxpin has the connection to Chuck E. Cheese, because I would look back and say that Teddy Ruxpin also has inspiration to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
And so with that, obviously Chuck E. Cheese, Teddy Ruxpin, Teddy Ruxpin looks like one of the characters after you take his face off, and it's terrifying. So, he's still collectible. Prices on eBay right now. I found them anywhere from $100 for the kind of newer ones, but mint with the box in minty condition for about $600.
Mm-hmm. An original one.
An original, yeah, one of the originals from 1985. I'm not paying $600 for one of these things.
We were looking. Rainey's looking for one to add to her collection, and we saw one last time we were up at the North Dallas Toy Show. We actually found one, and something was broke on it. I don't remember what was. It was the cassette door or something was broke, and we didn't get it. And the guy still wanted, like, if I remember right, it was $40-$50, I think, for it, maybe 60. I don't know. Randy will correct me on that. But anyway, we passed on it because it had something on it that was broke, and so. But she's looking for a good one for a good price, but she still needs one for her.
I promise.
1980s collection. Yeah.
I promise I'll burn it. By the way, this was 21 years ago. I don't remember if it might have been 2000 when that happened. So
it's been haunting you since the 2000s.
It really doesn't bother me until we talk about it. I may dream about it tonight, but I don't think about it unless somebody mentions it. It's not like it's just something that comes to me all the time. So
yeah,
if he is haunting me, he's not doing a very good job. We'll say that.
Maybe Grubby's holding them back for you.
That thing's a little weird too.
Or maybe the Spungans.
The whole story. I don't. It's just an interesting storyline here with.
The cartoon goes. He shows up wanting to go on an adventure, and he meets up with Grubby. So they go on this adventure, and they run across this guy. It's kind of like a Doc Brown type character, I guess, scientist. I don't remember exactly what he was, and then they find these. They go looking for this treasure, and they find these crystals that the bad guys said that they don't need because the bad guys need it or something, and it's kind of weird. So yeah, they keep the crystals away from the bad guys or something. So
all right,
yeah,
that checks out. Okay. All right. Well, anything else we want to add before we move on?
What was we talked about pricing. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
we just talked about it. So
it was like $170 something bucks today.
That wasn't like 5 minutes ago,
Yeah, well, I was talking about current pricing, but we were talking about the $600 mint.
It was like $600. I did not see any, and I didn't think about looking for it, but I didn't see any as I was looking up just the tapes. So you might be able to find the tapes for a decent amount.
You see any Grubbies or anything? See what they're
going
for?
I didn't, because I didn't see any. All I was looking for was Teddy. So
okay.
I didn't think about looking for Grubby until a little bit earlier when I saw a picture of both of them, and I was like, I forgot they did the Grubby.
Way to do your research, Andrew.
I mean, I just I'm the one that keeps the things going here. So all right, well,
let's go.
All right. Well, like John mentioned earlier, stay tuned to all of our social medias because that's where we're going to post things so that you can kind of keep up with what we're doing, whether it be a toy box showcase, a collector showcase, or something like that. So I think the year 2022, we're going to kind of change the toy box showcase up a little bit more, and we're going to do some quick things and start looking at our collections. Because we have a lot of things in our collections that you can obviously see a lot behind me. There's a lot behind Michael and a lot behind John, but we're going to get detailed. We're going to show some of these figures and some of these cars that Michael has and everything. Because there's like 7 years worth of 20-minute episodes of a showcase behind Michael that you can't even see right now. So we are going to start showing off some of our collections. It'll probably be 2022 before we get that all lined up. So stay tuned to our social networks. Make sure you're following us. If you need to know where those are at, you can go to toyrewindpodcast.com, or you can go to crossthestreamsmedia.com and see all those also. Up at the top of the Toy Rewind podcast, I don't know where it's at on Cross the Streams. I think it may be at the top, but there's a merch button. You can go if you want to buy one of our shirts, kind of support us a little bit, let people know you listen. That'd be great. I just dropped a new one.
Yeah, we got a new design. That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
I just dropped a new one. I took a picture of me wearing it. I didn't think about showing. Did I send that to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we saw it. Yes.
All right. So let me see if I can find it real quick. So while I talk about this, so go find it if you want to purchase a shirt or a coffee mug or there's lots of stuff on there. You can find that there. And while you're over on Cross the Streams Media, you can follow or you can check out all of our. It's not letting me download the stupid picture. You can follow all of our partner podcasts that are over there, including the Dorksman, the STS guys, Secondary Heroes, 3 Beers and a Mic. Where am I at? The Movie Gap, the Dan Aykroyd podcast, the Burt Reynolds and Charles Bronson podcast, Front Row Negative, The Art of the Boar, and Beering Ain't Easy. Lots of fun stuff. Where's my screen?
Yeah, I've been listening to Front Row Negative here lately. It's pretty cool. Pretty good show. They talk about a lot of wrestling stuff on there, and I'm not much of a wrestling guy, but I don't know any of the new stuff. I just know 1980s wrestlers. But
1980
and the only thing I know from that is from the cartoon from that. So.
All right, so here we go. Here's a picture of the shirt, the new shirt. It just says Toy Rewind. It's not a great picture, but it was fun.
It's like Teddy Ruxpin.
So feel free, go get a shirt if you like or something like that. We much appreciate it. If you want, you can also, while you're over there, or if you're in Apple iTunes, you can drop us a little or what is it, a 5-star rating and review. Yeah, that's what it is. And if you do that, we'll send you some stickers. Beautiful stickers. They look like this. It's got our logo just like it is right up here in the top. John also has pins. I don't know what we're going to do with the pins yet.
No, don't know, but we do have some.
We do have some pins. So follow our social medias. I can't stress that enough. To follow our social medias to find out what's going to happen with these pins. John's got a big bucket of them. I'd like to maybe have one. I'm kind of starting.
Michael, did you get yours?
Yes, I got mine.
So Michael's like
left out.
Michael's like Nate from the STS guys. He's getting his first before the people that are closer get theirs. But you're about halfway between me and Michael, so I guess.
I had it. Was at Mom and Dad's. And I dropped some off for him because I was there, and we put them with his mail.
Okay, that's fine. I'll get it from you. It's all good. I just want 2. I just want to make sure I get 2. That's all. If we
more than 2,
whatever we do with all the rest of them, I'm not worried about it. I just want 2, at least. So be sure you follow us there, John. We need to post that on social media that we've got them. Just kind of let people know something may be brewing. So yeah, Phyllis, if you drop us a rating and review, we'll send you some stickers. I think that's my spiel.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
You spilled it all.
Anything else we want to add?
I think I'm good.
2 plus 2.
I think it's time to wrap it up.
John wants to add 2 plus 2. That's 5.
What does Clint say? Wrap it up, B. To Nate when Nate does. I don't know.
I don't.
I've been listening to way too many
podcasts
here lately.
I don't listen to Clint on there. I listen to Nate and. Clint talks at a high enough level that it just in one ear.
Well, we'll find out if Clint listens to this and he'll reply to us.
He won't. He's so far behind on podcasts. And I understand because I'm getting.
He probably listens to more than I do, and he just can't keep up with it.
Actually, no. I think that's the bad thing about Clint. I don't think he listens to anything. He just says he does.
And he's part of like 20 of them anyway. So
right. Yeah. He doesn't have time to listen. He's too busy recording all the time.
Yeah, that's all he does is stay on there or Instagram.
Always on trying to it's always on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, really is. All right. Well, anything? So we're good.
Good.
All right. Episode 64. Can you guys believe we've done 64 of these? I feel like that number gets higher every week.
We got to start looking at our bracket. Start looking at see where we're at on it. People can vote on it when we get to that point.
I think we have another 10 episodes to go or so.
Okay. I just have to figure out where we're at. Yeah.
I think we've got another 5 or 6 at least episodes to go. So
I'm thinking about 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually sounds more better than
I think we're closer than what you intend. What you said.
So all right. Well,
so look forward to doing that, so y'all can vote on your favorite toy line that's being put up.
Yep. Actually, it'd probably be right at the first of the year.
Probably.
It'll probably be close to right at the first of the year. So something to happen for 2022.
And we're only 6 weeks from that point, I think.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, then, if you guys are good.
I was just thinking that would
No,
get
he's
us
not
into, sorry, that would move us into our 3rd year of doing this. Can you believe that?
It will. We started in 2020.
I mean, it wouldn't be 2 full years, but it would be in 3 different years.
No, but 3 different years.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then.
Wrap it up, B.
Are you done now, Michael?
I'm done.
All right. Well, then, on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.